Welcome everybody to Cowboys, Trailers, and Ranches. I'm Jimbo, and today we have a special, I'm gonna call it a special edition of Cowboys, Trailers, and Ranches. We are live at the Spirit Reins Ranch in Liberty Hill, Texas. And my special guest and co-host is the owner of this amazing ranch, Miss Rhonda Smith. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's so fun.
Guys, this is the reason we do what we do, and I can't thank this lady enough. Number one, for letting us on this ranch to do our podcast. But as of today, we have partnered up with this lady, and we are going to help her sell her ranch as Ranch Texas. And she's got a hell of a story. I mean, a hell of a story. She's going to tell it. And it's gonna make you want to be at the Spirit Reins Ranch, I promise you. Get ready for the new format of Cowboys, Trailers, and Ranches. So, first of all, thank you for this amazing opportunity for Ranch Texas. This is this is the coolest. This place is amazing. You guys are gonna see a little bit of it today, but I promise you, this is one of the most beautiful ranches we've been on. And this lady's going to tell you the story behind it. Where did this come from? I mean, how did this all start?
Great question. Spirit Reins. Well, it started back in 1999 when I was run over by an 18-wheeler one morning on my way to work. Ran right over the top of my car, and I walked away from an accident that I shouldn't have survived. Wow. And I got a second chance at life, and it took me a couple of years to figure out, what opportunity had been handed to me, what did I want to do with that? And what I really wanted to do was to combine my passions in life, which were helping children and having horses in my life. So I quit my corporate job one morning and decided to buy a ranch. And so as a single, recently unemployed woman, I set out on a search for some property and found this incredible piece of land.
Incredible.
And knew instantly, the moment that I set foot on this property, and my mom and I and my dad, we walked around the whole place, and I just knew in my heart that this was the place that I was supposed to be, that this was the calling that I was going to fulfill. And so built a nonprofit organization called Spirit Reins, where we serve children who had experienced trauma, mostly children in foster care, children adopted from foster care, and used our horses in an incredible program to help them experience hope again.
Wow. Miracle woman number one. I mean, holy crap.
Yeah.
Run over by a freaking 18-wheeler.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, jeez. So it's amazing you're here, number one, but then you decided to help others.
I did.
You decided to help kids, and that's off the freaking charts.
I had the opportunity.
That's badass.
Thank you.
And these horses, so with the ranch goes 18 head of, when I say beautiful horse flesh, and she and Jill have done an amazing job with these, because I'm telling you, I thought a lot of them were brood mares. they're in such good flesh. I thought a lot of them were safe and full. Yeah. So hats off to you. And it goes, the animals, the horses, the cattle on this ranch go right along with how freaking majestic and beautiful this place is. I mean, the views probably are as beautiful in Liberty Hill, Texas as I've seen.
It's a beautiful piece of Texas Hill Country.
Oh my gosh, it's freaking
quintessential
incredible.
Texas Hill Country property.
And if all you team ropers out there, 150 by 300 team roping arena, that is just freaking like silk. I mean, it's sick. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. So, question. You obviously had the choice of a few realtors and ranch companies.
Yes. What
made you decide to go with my lovely wife and her company? Which I guess I'm a part of.
Yeah. I'm glad you asked me that question, because honestly, Jill and I were looking for someone we could trust, because selling this land is an emotional process for us. And we wanted someone that we could immediately tell knew what they were doing and knew how to handle one, a special piece of property like this, but two, who knew ranches and who knew the value of what we have here, you know? And
Right.
it was immediately apparent the second that we met the two of you that we'd found the right team. Like it was instant chemistry, and just your expertise shine through. I mean, you know, what Vanessa brings to the table, what you offer as a part of this, as the team. I don't know why anyone selling a ranch wouldn't have the two of you doing it.
Wow. Wow. I'll drink to that. Wow. That's very cool of you. I'm telling you, this to me was when we first met y'all, it was like, yeah. I mean, you could just feel it, right? The vibes were there, chemistry was there. I think in the first 5 minutes, the relationship was already started.
Absolutely.
I mean, and I felt
No
that.
question.
And we left that day, and I told Vanessa, I'm like, they lit up like a tree every time you spoke. I mean, so I mean, this is an amazing opportunity. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, thank you.
But let's go back. Let's cover a little bit of the history of this place. I know you just did, but like, what many hidden gems on this place that nobody knows about that kind of shine through when you actually get out on the ranch?
The ranch has so many special pieces. I mean, at 125 acres, you know, it's not huge by Texas standards by any means, you know, but there are so many different spots on this property that that holds you, if you will. You know, there's some spiritual spaces where
Right.
you can tell that the land is offering something in exchange with you. You know, there's two beautiful ponds and you know, stock tanks out there that are wonderful places where. One of the things that I love to say about the ranch, actually, my favorite thing, is that this land has been anointed by children and their stories and their tears.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know, and the places where they sat next to the water and spilled their tears for the first time, or kicked a rock or you know, skipped a rock across a body of water. Like, you know, they'd never done that. No one had ever shown them how to do that. You know, like things that you and I take for granted
Oh,
on
100%.
ranches.
Or the way
you
we
know,
grew up,
the
right?
way we grew up.
Right on. That
You
kids
know,
don't
someone
get to
doing
do
that. Yeah, and so just little lives marching around this dirt, working out
Right.
what it means to be a kid and to be loved.
So you decided, because you grew up in Texas?
I grew up in Texas, born
Texas
and
girl,
raised.
born and raised. So
Been ranching my whole life.
why Liberty Hill?
Because of this property. Yeah.
And you looked at a few.
I looked
Obviously.
all over the place, and I mean, literally, it was about this land. It's about the views. When you stand on the front porch of the house and you look out across the Texas Hill Country, when you stand in the back and you look across the water and see the sunsets here. I mean, it's like big sky country
It
here,
is.
you know?
Yeah,
I
right,
mean, it's
right. I know.
it's gorgeous. And
we're
this little
compared to
town
that.
has just been, it's been home, you know? Like it's been a wonderful place for us to nurture what we did here. And it's growing and changing and becoming, you know, its own little big city now, you know, and it's a really lovely place to be.
Looks to me like you are going to, after it's all said and done, have left a pretty good legacy.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
That's my goal.
It's pretty amazing what you've done. And you know, I'll go back to we talk about it all the time on the show about how we all want to try to bring that Western influence, that Western culture, that Western industry to these young kids that didn't have or don't understand what you and I went through,
Yeah.
or had, you know, what we had given to us, right?
Right.
So this right here is a testimony of what we all hope to do, and you just did it in a bigger scale. I can't imagine. I mean, I know when I help out a little kid how to teach them how to rope or teach them how to ride or whatever equitation is, and how they freaking light up like a Christmas tree. I can't imagine seeing that like you did on a big scale every freaking day.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah.
So cool.
Thousands of children do here. Yeah.
So cool. So, what's your funniest? What was your funniest moment ever happened to you on this ranch? Was it with Pasco?
There's been some funny moments. Some that I'm not sure are rated for the podcast. We've had some funny little
This is on
stories.
You haven't watched this
Who's
before.
our audience?
Anything goes in this.
All right, I'll tell you my funniest story, and if you decide to take it out,
absolutely,
then we'll take it out.
Nope, it ain't gonna be taken out.
We had a little 3-year-old stallion mini. Okay.
Yep.
I tried not to keep stallions here, but we just hadn't had a chance yet to get him to not be a stallion. All right.
Kind of see where this.
So we had him separated from the most of our herd, and we actually on this particular day I had him in the arena, and a school bus full of children, emotionally, behaviorally disturbed children, pulls up into the driveway out here. All the kids are getting off the bus, and my back is to the arena, and I'm greeting the children and welcoming them to the ranch.
This ain't gonna be.
And they're looking over my shoulder, like not really paying attention to what I'm saying, and they're like, "Hey, Miss Rhonda, what's that horse doing?" And I turn around to the arena to find the mini stallion has hooked his front feet over the top rail of the arena and is trying to coax a mare to get just close enough to him that he can take care of her in that moment. And they're like, "What is he doing, Miss Rhonda?"
This happens.
I was like, "They're just playing. They're just playing. They're just having a moment."
You provided an educational surrounding for those kids.
They did for sure that day. Totally unexpected.
That's a good one. I like that.
Boy,
See,
yeah.
That's educational.
He's doing pull-ups. He's trying so hard.
All right, so for everybody out here that hasn't quite seen that happen, that's educational. That's Western industry. That's horses.
Daily life, living on the
Part of
ranch.
life.
Yes,
Part of life.
exactly.
Part of life. Part of life. So when you guys get this thing sold, you pack up. What do you want to see left behind? I know you thought about it. You've had to think about it.
Yeah.
Not that you want to, but
Yeah. Leaving, like I told you already, is emotional for us. But I also feel really spiritually congruent that it's our time, it's our time to move on and to hand this off. For me, I want to place it in the hands of someone who loves the dirt and the horses as much as we do.
I feel that. Well, I can promise you that we're going to do everything we can to do that for you, and I know
trust that.
I know we will find someone to take this place and nurture it, love it, and keep that legacy going like you did. There's no doubt in my mind, because this is one of those special places. Those ranches that you find every once in a freaking while. And I'm not talking about a ranch. I'm talking about a vibe and a culture here. When you go through those gates, I'm telling you right now, it automatically freaking grabs you and just gets in you. I mean, I know that's kind of spiritual shit right there, but it does. I mean, it's got that vibe to it. So anybody that purchases this ranch, it's gonna have to be somebody that feels that same thing that you do, right?
Yeah, I want them to feel it for sure.
All right, so I found something out on your ranch that I've kind of grown fond of.
Yes.
And he's about 2,200 probably, I'm guessing.
25 maybe?
2,500 pound Brahma bull that is the coolest, most gentle, chillest freaking bull I've ever been around.
He's amazing.
He's freaking cool.
He's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Be watching for social media, because I think Pasco, that's his name, Pasco, I think Pasco's going viral.
I think he needs his own channel. I think it's good. He's been a special part of the whole process here with this, honestly. I got him from a lady who bottle raised him and then showed up with this monster bull at my place and was like, "Here's your new bull." I was like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?" Like, remember, we have children here. And she's like, "You're going to be fine. It's going to be fine." And when he would lay down, like near where the kids would come in, for their therapy session, they would just run over and throw their arms around him and say, "Hi, Pasco." And I mean, for kids, like we were talking about earlier, who didn't grow up with what we did, to get to have an experience where there's this giant bull.
And he's gorgeous too. I mean, gorgeous.
Letting them love on him. I mean, it was just.
That's cool.
Yeah. the kind of memories that children take away from
Well,
that.
and if you wanted if you wanted to pick out a memory for a kid, like, I mean, what better way to do it? I mean, this bull is. I've been around a lot of bulls. I used to show cattle. I used to show bulls, and I'm not kidding you. This guy is beyond. I was just like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
You guys. So Rhonda and Jill and Vanessa were all scratching on Pasco, just scratching on. He laid over like our French bulldog does on his freaking back.
Wants his belly rubbed.
I ain't never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Cool. I mean, he literally is the coolest bull I've been around.
He's a special guy.
Yeah, so
Special guy.
I'm just gonna say I might be putting a bid in.
Oh, okay. If I see your truck driving away, a little the back end
just know he's
squatted.
going to a good home.
Got it.
That's all you got to remember.
Good to know.
That's all you got to remember. So, did you guys ever rope calves or team rope out in that arena at all?
No,
Nothing.
we didn't.
It was-
No. We had play days for children. You know, we did a lot of fun we used to host play days out here, barrels and poles and fun flag events and things like
Right on.
that. Lots of egg and spoon races.
Gotcha.
We did a
Right
lot
on.
of fun
Right
stuff,
on.
yeah.
Right on. So none of the kids never like got taught how to rope or
No roping.
Nothing.
But we did riding. We had a wonderful program called rhythmic riding where we would use the arena and we played music that the children chose. And the challenge for them was to ride their horse to the rhythm of the music.
Ha!
And it was probably one of the best
Like Guns
programs
N'
we
Roses or
ever.
Motley Crue or-
Whatever they chose. And it was so funny, like
Wouldn't
the
that be
horses.
funny? Kid comes up.
Oh my gosh.
Jams out to Guns N' Roses.
There were interesting choices all the time, but the horses learned the rhythm before the kids did. It was so cute. Like they would learn if it was a trotting song or a canter song or if they were supposed to lope, and the kids would be like, wait, I'm not ready. And the horse is like, it's a canter song. We gotta go.
This is not the Sound of Music.
Exactly. We have to go right now.
This is Tina Turner.
Exactly.
So, 20 years of all those kids, is there like one kid that sticks out in your mind? Or one, I guess just one kid, maybe one time, one incident that you're like, oh my gosh, that's like forever embedded in my mind for,
Absolutely. Like, I mean, so many special kids, like it's hard, if any of them see this, like not just one kid, and it is hard to choose one, frankly,
yeah.
But I had
20 freaking years.
Yeah. I had an incredible encounter one day. Do you want me to tell you about that?
I love encounters and I
Okay.
love stories, so.
I had a great encounter. I had a group of children from Round Rock ISD that came out, and there was this one young man. He was about 12, pretty small for his age. His dad was in prison for drugs. His mom had a mental illness. His brother was in and out of juvie because of drugs. So in effect, this 12-year-old guy was the man of the house, And he was a guy who went home at night not knowing if there would be food or if they would be evicted or, his life was turmoil at best. But when he came to the ranch, he shined like totally different from all the other kids in his group. And he learned everything I taught them about the horses immediately, really quick. He knew how to put the halters on. He knew how to lead them. He knew how to, whatever we were doing, he was my guy, and he wanted to be the guy that I called on. So this one afternoon, they get off this bus, and we're out here, and we're walking through the field. And I had a very special horse then named Hope, who was a little mare. She was the first mare I ever rescued. And she had broken her leg at her growth plate, and she had a 45-degree angle in her right front leg. And so when those kids started coming to the ranch, I told them, hey, Hope won't live as long as the other horses. She can't bear the weight of of her body. Horses bear all this weight over their front two legs, and when she grows up, she's not going to be able to do that. She won't live as long as the other horses. And so, but they loved her, like they were so attached to her. I had all these spectacular horses, but I had this one broken horse that all these kids were just like into. So one afternoon, just he and I are walking through the field, and he goes, hey, Miss Rhonda, I need you to tell me when Hope's gonna die. And I was like, dude, I don't know when Hope's gonna die. Like Hope's doing great. And he's like, no, I mean it. you got to tell me when Hope's going to die. And I was like, buddy, Hope's doing fine right now. Like, I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I have no reason to think anything's wrong. You know, she's doing really well right now. And he's like, you have to make me a promise that if you think something's going to happen to her, you will find me and you will tell me if you think something's going to happen. And I was like, you have my word. I promise you I will tell you. He's like, okay. Things get quiet between us again. We're just walking with our halters, walking across the field, and I'm inside just freaking out, you know, like not knowing what just happened, knowing something just happened. And he breaks the silence between us again, and he says, hey, Miss Rhonda. And I'm nervous to answer, you know, I'm like, what? And I was like, yeah, buddy. And he's like, you know what you should do? And I was like, what's that? And he said, you should dedicate this place to Hope. This should be Hope's Ranch.
Wow.
That's what I should do.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good one. That's,
a good one.
yeah, I'm glad I'm wearing sunglasses. That's what I'm going to say right
too.
now. I'm so glad. Good call, I'm wearing the glasses.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is truly amazing what some of these kids will. I mean, we truly don't give them enough credit.
No.
I mean, I know my kids growing up, I never gave them enough freaking credit. I mean, it's amazing what they come up with.
Yeah,
I mean, especially when you get them around animals.
Yeah.
They just become they
They're
become a
different people. Yeah.
totally different person a lot
Yeah.
of them, right? Obviously.
Well, and the horses allow that, you know?
Yeah,
like the
absolutely.
horses
They
allow
bring
them
it out.
space to do that.
Absolutely. So hey, I got a question for you. So this is a question we come up with for all of our guests, and you might have to think about it. But
Okay. You're going to surprise me.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So, if you could change one thing in our Western industry to keep it Western, what would it be?
Our Western industry, to keep it Western. Man, I mean, the thing that comes to my mind immediately is I've managed up to 33 horses in my herd here, plus, you know, goats and donkeys and cattle. And what I've had the privilege of doing for the last 20 years is observing that herd living as a herd naturally, how they're supposed to live.
Absolutely.
With their friends, with their herd. And what I learned with the kids is I learned what you just said. It's a great lead, what you just said about we don't give them enough credit. Mm-hmm. Part of our program was that the horses have choice. They get consent. They have a voice in the process. Because we needed to offer that to the children that we were serving. And we couldn't do something with the kids that we weren't willing to do with our horses. And to me, if we're keeping it Western, if we're really keeping it Western, watch them, give them a voice, listen to them. It's about relationships.
Boom. Boom. That's pretty powerful shit. Gosh. Once again, glad I got the glasses on. Wow. That's you probably should put that down in paper, because I mean that's pretty good. That's pretty profound. And I will add to that I think what you just said, obviously, and what I'd said before, I think it all boils down to how we are approaching these kids, how we're educating them or not educating them around animals to start, right? Not even the culture.
Nature.
Yep, exactly. Right. Absolutely. Because not that we've taught them, but they've been in a box, so to speak, without sunshine, without trees, without grass, without gravel, like we grew up, right?
Right.
And society has, I don't want to say taken it away, but it's kind of crippled them a little bit from doing that.
We've moved pretty far from it for
that's
most people,
right,
yeah.
right.
I mean, I remember growing up, you know, I grew up on a horse ranch. I've told Jill this story 1,000 times. I thought every little girl had horses in their backyard. Like, I remember the first time I went to town and with my friends from high school, you know, I went to, this high school, and I would go to their house and I was like, wait, you don't have horses? Like, you live in this little square is all y'all have? Like, this is crazy. I don't
everybody had
understand,
pony.
you know, like, So it's very different. And watching kids thrive on the ranch, watching people thrive. It's not kids.
True.
We all thrive
That's
when we're out in nature and
call.
we're in touch with our connection to this earth and to these trees and to the grass and to the sky. Yeah, I mean it makes a difference.
Yeah, we can sit here and talk about it for hours and days, but it all boils down to getting these young people out in it.
Yeah,
right. Out in it. Just
yeah.
put them out in it, right?
Yeah.
And most of them, like you said, most of them thrive. Most of them freaking love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I know a ton of kids that love to just go out and freaking shoot a gun, right? Shoot at targets. Go out and wade in a creek,
Well, yeah,
right?
exactly.
Get muddy.
Skip a rock.
Skip a rock,
Yeah.
right? Getting back to nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting back to nature. That's good stuff. Good stuff.
Good
Thank you for that. So, now it's my time to thank Ranch Texas, who sponsors this lovely podcast. RanchTexas.com. Ranch Texas is really, really behind this today for sure. And as of right now, as we speak, Spirit Reins Ranch is for sale. So reach out to RanchTexas.com because this is one of those special ranches, guys. So you've got to put your feet on it. I promise.
Yeah.
Some other posse of partners that make it possible for us to do this: Rodeo Rigs out of Montana, Laredo Conversions out of Weatherford, Texas, the Cowboy Roundup, the Rodeo Clinic Scholarship Fund out of Wyoming, and everybody's favorite hat box, the Beaver Box. Thank you all for doing what you do and making this thing go. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
Can't thank you enough for everything. I mean, everything. This has been awesome.
Yeah. I've enjoyed it.
And you might have done this once or twice before. You made it out a podcast, but I guarantee you spoke before.
Yes. I love it.
You may know what you're
Tell
doing.
the story.
She's been wonderful. Miss Rhonda Smith has been our special guest and my co-host today. We're going to call it a day because it is a little bit humid in the state of Texas, just a little bit, as you can tell.
Bad.
So I don't know if you know or not, but this is the way we sign
All
off.
right, let's do it.
And some people may not like it, but I don't care because this is the way we do it. So I'm going to pour you a lovely Pendleton whiskey, by the way. The only preferred whiskey of Ranch Texas and Cowboys, Trailers, and Ranches. So that's Jimbo. That's Ranch Texas.
Awesome.
So hey, here's to Spirit Reins Ranch.
Yes.
Here's to Rhonda Smith, and here's to Jill Stewart. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Smooth.
Yeah,
Smooth.
smooth.
So this is what we say on our sign off.
Yeah.
Let her buck, keep it western.